everyone, welcome back. I am Pragya Mishra and I'm the AVP of Customer Success and Operations at Courseplay. Courseplay is a 360-degree employee growth platform. In the 7th session of our Industry Dialogue Series, we will dive into the world of gamification in learning and discover how it's making learning fun, engaging, and super effective. And to discuss this topic, we have Hemant Kumar Ravi, who's a seasoned HR leader with over 16 years of experience. He's currently driving HR strategy for Casa Grande, a leading real estate developer in India. Hi Hemant, so glad to have you here with us today.
Thank you for hosting me. Looking forward to the candid conversation.
Same here. So now before we start talking about the main topic, can you give us a brief about what gamification is and what is the impact that it is currently making in the L&D space?
Yeah, so I bring around 17-18 years of work experience by now, being a techie and worked across diversified industries, be it IT, ITS as a techie, or moving on to EPC company in Middle East, or working for Wipro, Accenture Consulting, or working for companies like Randstad, a manpower consulting firm, or Kantar, which is basically into data science and all, right? And now leading HR function for Casa Grande, right? So it's a good learning curve for me personally. I think learning agility is the main pivotal point. People who are growing across the industry with 17, 20, 30 years of work ex, how they have been able to stay contemporary, understanding the business context, understanding the change that we have gone through during the process. Like whatever I did in BTech in 2005 is not relevant. Whatever is relevant today, we have not learned or studied, right? So I think gamification brings a lot of fun element while you're learning, and it sets in the Kirkpatrick model wherein the behaviors change, the results are being showcased through your performance. It becomes a kind of culture change. People are able to showcase, go through a kind of peer-to-peer competition, and it brings a kind of camaraderie as well as a kind of competition, so that everyone enjoys that process. Simulation happens, and it's experiential learning, I think. So that's what gamification to me is.
Thank you for the points there. This helps us set the base for today's conversation, which is gamification in learning, making learning more engaging and effective. So now, the first topic that I'd like to talk about is what are the most common challenges that employees face while learning? And then, in your opinion, what role has gamification changed? Because you spoke about a learning curve and the learning agility. This point really got to me. And so you would have seen a trend or a change in the way employees look at learning. And then what role has gamification played in this?
Right. So I'll talk about my personal journey first. Like, coming from Ranchi, a tier 2, tier 3 city, we never thought like, this much we will achieve as part of, corporate journey or a ladder, right? Then moving across, as a dad was in Coal India, so we kept studying something, did some kind of internship in NTPC, Coal India and stuff like that. And finally got a corporate job, which was a high paying, decent, cognizant techie role, So coming to your question, the challenges in a learner's mind will be 3-4 key quadrant, So first thing will be, while I am doing my job, so I have a time constraint. So that's the first challenge. While everything else is happening in my life, even bachelor or married or with kids, you have your own priorities, and you have business deliverables, you have personal challenges, and you have time commitments, right? So during that, balancing work responsibilities along with learning is the biggest challenge. That's what I feel. And I'll not give a solution, but the way it worked out was you have to think of yourself as a professional. If you're not upskilling yourself, cross-skilling yourself, you will become redundant at some point of time, right? So I think time constraint, which any learner has to prioritize, is the first key challenge. Second key challenge I see is lack of engagement. And when I say engagement, I'm not saying at that point of time. You have to stay engaged for a sustainable period. So it's a commitment. Like, you go and take a 1-year subscription at gym, and then you are paying 15-20K. And after 1 month, 2 months of resolution, new year resolution, somewhere it fades away. So you have to keep sustaining that. And you see that in corporate world also. You are implementing, say, Workday implementation or any tool or LMS platform you implement. Initial, there will be buzz around it. everything is going to go about it. HR, business, leaders, everyone is talking awesome. You start doing reward recognition and all those things for best learner, growth mindset, stuff like that. But somewhere down the line, it takes a deep prioritization with other things coming up or no new flavor coming in that. So the way I see is, the movie has to have a lot of highs and lows, elevation we call, right? So you need those punches. Otherwise, the entire comedian show will go for a toss. So you have to have those kind of punches in between, so that you get the new high every time. So engagement as a model during the learning curve is important. And it's difficult because we're talking about serious business. So it's not like fun during watching a movie or playing cricket, right? So that's second piece. Third thing, as I said, it connected to it, how to retain that applied learning. So good, I've learned something. I went to LinkedIn, I have 100 plus certification done. I went to Coursera, Udemy of the world, or Cornerstone, which gives me very insightful, AI driven, what I actually spending time learning. Look, people similar to me are learning what, profiles similar to me are doing what, and then they will give me a curated content, a very hyper personalized content to go through. I go through that, get certified. I am a data science certified. Am I applying that? Even if I'm applying, learning is like, has to be shared. Then only you keep on expounding the growth, right? So to compounded interest you have to take, you have to keep learning, applying that thing, and then grow more talents like you on that particular skill set or SME that you are. So the point is, how do you sustain that learning, retain that learning for future? And it will keep on changing. So whatever you learned, the model will keep changing. You have to evolve, because same answer, same model can't be true for 4-year, 5-year, 10-year journey, right? So third piece is that. Finally, which I think now people are able to solve, LMS has to be customizable. So it can't be, I have 1,000 odd content curated and that has to stay. So while the contents are curated, you have to think of yourself or LMS as a platform, as an app, keep reinventing the wheel, version 2.0, 3.0, add a bit of avatar, add a bit of scoring, that, it is not easy to get that certification. Like LinkedIn Learning, I'll go there, I'll just play the video, I go make coffee, come back, my certificate is ready to download, or I give 7 questions and I'm through. So it has to be earned. It has to be really slightly difficult than normal to earn a certificate. So these 4 things. Okay.
So the certificate part is the one where an edge would be given to the employee. So that makes them different from the rest of the employees who do not have the certificate.
It has to be coveted. So so it has to be like, you're a distinction holder, only top 3% of the people will get. And to get that thing, you really have to toil hard so that you feel it's earned, not bought.
Yeah, this is a very unique point that I've come across. And there was another point that you spoke about, retaining the knowledge. So I, as an employee, can take, let's say, 10 courses in a year. But if I don't apply this, this is actually the same for books, for non-fictional books. If you read these books and you don't apply them, you will completely forget what you read about. So in this context, do you feel it is both the employee and the organization's responsibility to ensure that the learnings are being applied somewhere? What are your views on this?
I'll give you good examples from the industries or companies I work for. Companies like Accenture, Wipro, they have very thorough process. So learning is intervention made during your career journey. So we talk about attract, retain, groom, and develop talent, right? And during this journey, learning, I'll put you into mid-level leadership program, top management leadership program, initial first line leadership program. So those interventions will be there. But beyond that, how we binary it, or in tandem, what we do is a lot of in the job exercise we'll give, in basket exercise we'll give, role plays we will deliver. You'll be given a bubble assignment to work with the CEO, -1, -2, across function. Like say I was in HR, I was doing internships and projects in marketing, strategy, innovation for that matter. We worked with AI folks, then I got data science certified. I worked with Scrum kind of project, did the program management. So I become a Scrum certified product owner. So the learning, once earned, has to be applied somewhere. The best way it has worked is get these kind of assignments and projects, because on the job learning is the most effective thing. Whatever you have learned, you have to apply. Right. Then only the knowledge becomes skill, because knowledge is, you read it, study it, get certified, you have knowledge. skill is you apply that thing as a proficiency level from P1 to P4, and then you become conversant with that skill. So what Accenture and other companies or we did worked was we had career marketplace. So if I've learned certain skill, I can go and pick up liquid workforce assignment. My full-time job is whatever I'm doing today. HR head. Earlier I used to be TA professional, L&D, HRBP folk. But during that time, I can do projects which are bubble assignment anywhere from 4 hours to 40-hour nugget assignment. Catalyst is another, Catalant is another platform. It gives you a freelancing gig worker kind of assignment. So within company I can do, externally also I can do, right? So then I really apply those learning, and that becomes a kind of honed skill for me. So yeah, to answer to your question, yes, the ownership lies with both the employee and the employer.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, because this gives a lot of clarity on upskilling is not just a one-sided effort. And again, coming to teams and fostering collaboration, how can organizations leverage gamification to foster such collaborations and to ensure that there's teamwork going on among the learners?
Okay. On this question, I'll again cite some example, because if I give Gyan, it will not be connecting with the audience or people. It's theory.
Examples are always good.
But I'll tell you examples. So in Accenture, PMS was a big thing. We were bringing change from performance management to performance achievement as a process. So I'm not supposed to manage Pragya's appraisal process, that how well she is doing and how well she is not doing, and then I'm giving feedback. It's like feedback. Whatever has happened, you slice and dice and say, this didn't work, Pragya, this worked. There's no point doing that. So what we are saying, achieve the performance, whatever target we have set for a particular employee, there has to be 2 to 3 priorities, because priorities was a singular word. It was priority always, because you will have something, one unique thing that you have to focus. Over a period of time, people have abused the word in last 100 years, and that became priorities. So it's conflicting, my priority is one priority to live and let live, or something, you can't have priorities. Then you have so many things in your brain, to process through. So having said that, what we did was we created a kind of simulation wherein people are going through that inverse exercise as a simulation. We partnered with Nullscape. So achieving performance is important. I'll enable my employee to have feed-forward conversation rather than feedback conversation. And in that journey, what we started doing was you'll get scorecard. We'll gamify this stuff. You have a day of a manager or any role that we are playing. You go to Nullscape company's workplace, and you'll be sitting like any employee. So it's a in-field exercise on the field. You'll have your system, you're working on something, some 10-20 mails are coming, some 4 people have resigned, some of your engagement score has come, engagement is dipping down from 80 to 70 to 65. You have 10 things to manage. So one is employee, another is business to do, third thing is engagement and hiring. How do you process that as a line manager? So it was very real-time simulation-based exercise, and that's the way we actually gamified the experience. So your question that how did we bring the collaborative mindset or team challenge and competition we brought through these kind of platforms. So Nullscape is one. I can talk about many more like this. So if I'm working in a real estate right now, my bigger challenge is how language agnostic program can be developed. So English may not be the preferred language everywhere. In our industry per se, 60% of my headcount might be Tamil speaking. I'm expanding to Delhi NCR, and also I need some course content in that language, and people are able to customize now. They're creating AI bot. So while I'm talking to you or doing a program, if I have a concern on some pointer, there will be AI bot. I'll ask the question. That AI bot will connect to the open chat GPT and help me answer as a coach or mentor, or give me more content that while you are reading this, why don't you learn something more, right? So that way my horizon of learning is not only a simulated e-learning platform, but it can also give me journal to read from HBR to Gartner. It can give me kind of video nuggets of 30 seconds to 3 minutes or anything like TED Talks, anything. So across the world, whatever is a connected learning, that's the power of current AI based kind of learning. So video is one way of learning, kinesthetic way of learning for that matter, right? I might want to see things to glean it. I might want to read things to glean it. So everyone's style is different. So how much you are able to customize, understand the persona of the person, go through my digital footprint, what all I do throughout the day, use that and with the Data Privacy Act, and then curate things for me. So I think that's what had worked. Leadership board and recognition we had installed or we had implemented. The way it worked was, while you are working on 3 priorities, you have something called distinctive achievement. So as an HR, I participated in HR Innovation School in Accenture, got that award worth rupees 2 lakhs some 6-7 years back. But the more important thing apart from the prize money was I was able to connect with HR colleagues across the globe. So someone sitting in France was able to give me some input. Right. Someone was sitting in US, North America, gave me certain input. We created a team which is very enriched socially, culturally, and obviously through brain. So someone is thinking in very abstract art kind of way, very abstract kind of thinking. Someone is thinking very data analytical thinking, that yes, you're telling me a rosy picture, tell me how you'll achieve this. So you actually apply the DISC framework, leadership style, and all those things into those projects. So I think, so when you start gamifying the entire stuff, making it much more challenging, much more enriching, simulated real life examples. So I think then the learning sticks for long.
Right. So you were pushing learning or making your learners more inquisitive by giving them different formats. Now, be it reading, be it videos, be it networking, is what I understood. And I think this was a brilliant plan. And this was not just one organization or one team. This is what you've learned in your entire career journey. And this makes a lot of sense. Now, in recent times, what are some emerging trends or innovations in gamified learning that we should be aware of?
2-3 things. First, I think AI is for sure much more talked about. And so virtual reality and augmented reality, if you can culminate that. So what I'm saying is, again, it's not new. Like last 5 years we have done that. I'll have a connected room. So I'm sitting in a room, there's a camera focusing me, and like that, people are across the globe and they have a camera focusing. And in that room, whomsoever is talking, the camera will focus on the person. So it doesn't matter that you are there in one conference room or across the offices. The person who is speaking, he can be on Polycom and talk, and everyone can connect. I can raise questions. So augmented reality and virtual reality has really played well. Metaverse was another segment we went into, create your avatar and really learn in a kind of, meta world. So that was a good thing we had tried. Again in Accenture. There was something called Accenture Innovation Center. So we applied those kind of learning. There was a project Maya, there was a project Higher View. So you can really, when I'm talking to you, you can go through my gestures, my facial expression, my hand movement, and see this guy is engaged or not during the learning time. The pitch he is using, the tone he is using, the filler words I'm using. You can gaze all those things and say, what is your confidence index? What is the eye time? You are connected with me. These things will talk that, how much in depth you are into that learning session. There will be people who will close the videos and they'll again do multiple things and learning is going on. That's not the way you should do quality learning, right? So coming back to your point, what are the emerging techniques and tools? Virtual reality, conjoining your augmented reality, which is real as well as virtual, into metaverse kind of segment. You can have those VR glasses, lens and all, and actually do the scenario planning. You have people walking across you, any kind of thing you can automate. Like, you have team with whom you have to interact. You have a situation wherein you have to circumnavigate, apply your data reasoning, verbal ability, or quantitative aptitude, right? So it depends what exactly I'm trying to test the person for. Initial level up to, if the pyramid is like 100 employees headcount, 70% of the people will be sitting at the junior management cadre. Their requirements will be different. It will be much more do the task kind of mindset. So the skill we are trying to hone is execution kind of skills. The more you move up the value chain, 20% will be mid management, 10% will be top management. There we are moving from operations to a transformative approach, and from there to strategic approach. So what may change? How will you go and manage a ambiguous situation? In an ambiguous situation, how you are able to conduct yourself. You don't know the solution. We'll not have all the solution. Every time I'm doing a new role, and more often than not, whenever I switch, it's a different thing than the last company. Last company, if I felt that, if you have survived here, you can survive anywhere. You go to the next company, you feel the same pinch that, no, this is another ball game altogether. So how do you survive in that thing, or be agile to learn, be agile to apply the change? I think these kind of things worked when you are working in augmented reality VR kind of scenario planning. AI I told about, AI will actually hyper personalize your content that will be fed to you, and real
Correct.
time feedback can be given back. So avatars are there these days. You say this, and IBM Watson can be applied there, or any other chatbot can be there, and they can actually do the coaching to you, because so much of data is there. Whatever I'm sharing, no, it's not new. 10 people at least similar to me must have faced the same situation in different company, different world. And if you have AI empowered avatar, they can answer the thing. Micro learning, we spoke about. If you see, reels were coming with 30-second kind of video, now they have elongated that to 1 minute, because 30-second was good nugget. 2 to 3 minute learning video is good. They say there's a pattern. If you are learning a video, you should have 2-3 pointers talked about. That's what even I'm trying to apply right now. So augmented reality, AI, bit of what did I say, that connected learning,
Virtual reality.
virtual reality, micro learning. So when I'm telling you 3-4 pointed, it stays to your mind, because we are talking about goldfish eye span of 8 second to 30 second, right? So micro learning, easily chewable element with a kind of gamification after every session. I think that is something that is picking up well. Mobile learning has already picked up. Social gamification has picked up, wherein you are able to interact with your peer member, collaborate with them, and then come up with a solution. So I think these are the few things I think are trending changes. So it doesn't matter
these
where.
are all very interesting.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was saying that the way you've culminated the entire point is actually very interesting, because people usually talk about AI, but then they don't delve deeper into how AI is going to help further. So the point that you mentioned about getting coaching from AI is also something that our platform is trying, where we will give, once the learner has either completed the course or an interview or a sales pitch, they will be given a feedback on the way they spoke, what could be improved, what were the filler words that were being used, or where they can improve. Is something that the organization is trying, the product is trying to enhance and build. So I could completely relate, and the way you described that all of these different things are not, they go hand in hand. They can't be just one factor that you need to apply in the learning.
Once a silo or once in a time approach.
Yeah. So these were some really interesting points here. I have had a great experience getting all of this feedback from you, and thank you so much for all the great and amazing points for it.
Thanks for asking candid questions, and I think I try to keep it more realistic, that what actually I have gone through and how I have been able to circumnavigate through various companies. The intent is that gamification should not be a buzzword, because we are talking about again gamification for 7-8 years now. It's more about the intent that we are really trying to glue the learner to you, so that his life is changed significantly. If I'm able to change 0.01% daily basis over 365 days, I would have changed 1.20 times better. So that 20% better than the last year, if I keep doing year on year, you'll be a different evolved person over a period of time. So success or the learning is more tiny steps in the ladder, rather than taking a one leapfrog. For that, you have to struggle. I talked about the gym experience, right? So we as a kind of platform provider, as Courseplay or CLHR, or even as an HR head for any company, what we have to do is work together, understand third year, second year of our college mates, what do they need, how these guys can become productive on day one. So everyone's learning requirement is different basis the learning cycle that they are at, right? So gamification can be tweaked in accordingly, right? So customization can be at that level also.
Yeah, yet another great point of syncing the learning plan with the learning cycle. Again, thank you so much for all your valuable inputs.
Thanks a lot, Pragya. Thanks for your time.